Clutter isn't just a mess. It is postponed decisions, old identities, and unresolved issues that sit on your shoulders as you try to move forward in life. These last couple of months, I've had a lot more free time than I'm used to. In January, when I saw that my next 3 months will be, slow when it comes to work, I really had this urge to fill up my calendar, to try to figure out how to bring in these external projects into my life that are going to make me feel useful and productive and kind of ease my panic about the slow season. And I'm really happy that I didn't fully give in to that instinct this year. Instead, when I first started waking up, not having any photo editing to do, I'm a photographer, so for months and months I had just a queue of galleries that were just lined up for me to edit. I never had to think about what should I work on today because I always had work. I could never get it done. But then once I did and things slowed down, I started waking up and treating my own life as something that can be worked on without me bringing anything external into it. I really tried to take in free time to inspect certain things about my life that I don't have really time to even think about when things are busy. This made me realize that my life is a mess. Like, I really have mess in my head that needed to be cleaned up. Is that my kitty smelling flowers? When I talk about clutter, of course, everybody thinks of physical clutter first because it is very impactful. It is one of those things that once you feel good in a space that you're in, you can start to think about these different types of clutter. But it is kind of the first one that you should tackle. In my opinion, it is the easiest one, but I know that everybody's brain works differently. I'm not a person that needs to be in a clear white room in order for my brain to feel fine. Like, as you can see, my decorating style, it's not minimalistic. Like, I like to have art. I like to have things on the wall. I like to have just different items that just remind me of certain aspects of life that I love and that I want to see in front of me every day. So I really don't approach this decluttering from mindset of I want everything to be minimalistic and I want to follow a certain aesthetic and I want my life to look a certain way. It's really about the feeling. So talking honestly, when it comes to feeling of being cluttered, what I felt the most pressure was from this digital clutter that I have been collecting. Like, there's a lot of parts of us that are left in the digital space that we have to pay attention to. They're a big part of decluttering. They're going to make us feel lighter in the same way as taking out a couple of bags of clothes to Goodwill. Like, looking at your inboxes, looking at your subscriptions, looking at even people you follow, people you see every day on social media, auditing every single part of your daily life, what comes in front of your eyes, and also trying to dive into those open tabs in your mind that you know are there. Like, at the end of the last year, I felt like there was so many open tabs in my head, and a big part of it, I know it was the fact that I have so many photo shoots, so many weddings, so many different projects on so many hard drives. Too many hard drives. Was it all organized? No. Like, did it all make sense in my head? No. It was like, if somebody asked me to pull something up, it would probably take me like 30 minutes going through my hard drives, figuring out just where the thing is stored. But sometimes you just get busy, you just need to get projects done, you don't really pay attention too much to organization. Before you know it, your brain feels like a bunch of unorganized hard drives are sitting on top of your literal shoulders. Like, when I think about starting a new project, I'm thinking, where am I going to store it when my hard drives are a mess? I would say probably decluttering this part of my life helped me sit down today to record a YouTube video, which I wanted to do for years. But that was, for me personally, my first area where I was like, I have to really take a look at this and start figuring out how to make this space make more sense in my head. I'm not going to say it was the most pleasurable, the most fun experience, but I'm telling you, once I organized, labeled my hard drives, I really did feel like I closed at least like 15 open tabs in my brain. When it comes to digital space, there's a lot more than, hard drives and files and stuff. There's email inboxes, accounts on social media, different subscriptions. They're a big part of digital clutter, and if you think that you are just very unorganized or messy because your digital clutter is crazy, just know that that is intentional. Like, companies are literally racing for our attention. Everybody wants our attention. Your attention is the most valuable thing to capitalism currently. So If you have an inbox full of different brands that you bought from that is now literally trying to steal your attention twice a day, sending you promotional emails that you just feel like it's easier not to look at than to deal with and go in and unsubscribe. Like, I understand, I get it. It's made like that. And sometimes fighting digital clutter does feel like you're not just fighting your decisions, like it is a lot of the time with physical clutter. You're fighting the system. Like, I have a routine now when once a week I go into my Gmail, my different Gmails, different business, personal ones, that I literally go to a subscriptions tab and unsubscribe from everything. And you would be surprised how often do you, throughout the week, just by doing random things, you accidentally get subscribed to different newsletters, promotional emails. It's kind of pissing me off. Honestly, it's pissing me off, but it does feel like I'm taking a little bit of ownership over my own attention capital by actually going once a week and unsubscribing. I just believe that for anybody who is wondering where to start, just look at the things. Just look at the things, because it is your stuff, it is your life. And I don't blame anybody for having too much of a mess in any aspect of their life, because tempo, like the pace of life, has become so crazy. I don't even know, like, I really think that we buy, consume, see, hear too many things, and we have to really slow down in order to even be able to keep up with our, clutter that we've built so far. Another big class of clutter that you could also, relate to digital clutter is money clutter. Like, money is becoming messy, and it's becoming something that, like, people don't even want to face, because there's too many accounts to keep track of. There's too many platforms you have to log on. And I know what it feels like. And I would say that is one of the scarier clutters in my life. But at the same time, I can really confirm that, like, when you just look at it, when you log in and look, you already gain a big sense of control. And if you really start going into it and decluttering it in a way where you're like deciding, what do I need, what do I don't need anymore in my future, like what is something that I'm keeping, what was a stupid decision, where you start actually kind of diving into some of your money clutter, you can gain a lot. Like, it can be one of those that really changes your life. Imagine a clean kitchen with clean, organized cabinets, but it's actually just, your money. Like, that has to feel good, and it is a very, very important one to dive into. My main point today is that decluttering doesn't have to feel like punishment. If you want it, it can become like a very fun, free hobby. Honestly, like, I would say that is my favorite hobby currently. Not because I'm so boring and I can't figure out other things to do, but because I've done so many things over the past couple of years that I really need to take time and see what parts of that should go with me in my future, what should be left behind, what should be given to somebody else. Next type of clutter that I feel like I shouldn't really talk too much on, because I'm not a therapist or competent on talking about it in any way, is emotional clutter. I'll talk about it for just a little bit, but just know that this is the one where I still am working on finding different systems and different ways to deal with it, to recognize it. Emotional clutter is something that we all carry, but in a different way. Like, you can really look into your relationships in your life and assess what is something that you want to take into future with you. And I'm not talking about the whole relationship, but I'm thinking about certain patterns, I'm not saying that this is about getting rid of friends or getting rid of people in your life. Of course, that might be a part of it, but I'm just talking about thinking for a second. Who is important to me? Who is maybe not as important as much as they just steal my energy? What are the relationships that I feel obligated to keep up with just because I met them through work, and now I feel like it's just an added thing to my social schedule that I don't really feel much joy about? Like, there's a lot of different parts of emotional clutter that could go from very benign assessment of relationships to very painful, maybe even trauma unpacking moments. So I would say, like, when it comes to emotional clutter, probably the best way to deal with it is by going to therapy. I would say the second best way to deal with it is probably by journaling, getting your thoughts out there. But yeah, emotional clutter, don't think it's not important. It does contribute to that foggy, heavy feeling in your mind that you might sometimes feel. There's a related clutter to emotional clutter, which is called identity clutter. it requires the most brutal honesty about who you are, who you were, and who you want to be. Identity clutter can manifest itself in a physical way, such as like seeing a pile of supplies for a hobby that you really wanted to do, but then once you started doing it, you realize you're not that much in love with it, so you're probably never going to pick it up, or you kind of think you will because you want to make your money worth, but at the same time, you don't enjoy it as much. Like, you're not dying to go back to it. So you should be true to yourself about what are the things that you actually enjoy and that you're likely to pick up, and is having this pile of stuff maybe stopping you from discovering another goal? Because every time you look at this pile, you think, oh, I should be doing this, or I should be getting use out of this thing that I bought. It could be workout equipment that you never really got to like, you never really got to use. It might be too complicated to use, but you spend too much money on to easily get rid of it. It can be clothes that you bought for a certain version of yourself that never really manifested itself, and you might not even want it to be reality now. You might have changed your style, your goals. There might be craft supplies for a certain craft project that you were sure that you were going to finish, and somewhere along the way, if you were honest to yourself, you might have admitted, no, I'm not going to ever do this. And it's okay to get rid of that. Like, it's okay to write off that project. That is the closing of the tab. Like, not every tab you open is going to be something that it's going to be productive. All of that is okay. What's not okay is feeling like you can't focus on anything because there's too many things that are asking too much of your attention that you might not even want to give anymore. Like, everything was there for a reason on your path to, becoming yourself, but it doesn't mean that you have to stick with everything. You have permission to let go of hobbies. You have permission to let go of different versions of yourself that you imagined. One thing that I do from time to time is I go to my Pinterest and I look at some of my old boards and I declutter them. Like, I literally go through and I see what are some of the things that I aspire to that either I achieved or I don't even want to happen anymore. Like, people change, things change, dreams change, goals change, and that's okay. We don't need to keep every single version of us with us, and we don't need to bring it to future. Just keep the best, smallest little pieces, reminders, memories, things that you would be happy to look at, years from now, but it's okay to let go of many other things. And sometimes there's especially nice feeling about giving things away in a sense where that somebody would cherish something that you have. At the same time, I know this can be a trick because then your mind starts to think about the perfect way to get rid of everything that you don't want, which sometimes can take more energy. So if something naturally has a solution, you want to get rid of it and it's going to go into the right hands, do it. It's going to give you a nice feeling, but don't let that be the only way you declutter, because sometimes that's how we create more tasks for ourselves. And that's not the point of this. Point of this is to close tabs, not open new tabs. You don't need to get rid of everything perfectly. That's another note. I'm all for donations. I'm not a type that donates shirts that I would not even look at if I was at a thrift store or Goodwill. Like, I turn those into rags. Like, there's nothing I love more than having like an old cotton shirt, cut it out into pieces and use it next time I clean my house. Like, I will donate nice things that I just, feel like I'm not cherishing as much as somebody else might. So, when it comes to getting rid of things, I will make more videos about different ways you can do that. But the biggest way is slowing down and blocking some of the incoming clutter from your life and assessing what you already have. That's definitely the best way to start dealing with the heaviness that sits on your mind right now because your life is cluttered. And thank you very much for listening, and I hope I will see you in the next video.